Hey everyone, this is Second Sight Tarot, a branch of wellness. I'm here to do the monthly reading for Aquarius for the month of April 2021. I've already meditated on your cards, and please remember that this is a general reading, so it may not resonate for everyone. So please take what does and leave the rest. We're going to get started today with the element spread, current situation, how you can move through it through intellect and communication, the emotions that can come about from the situation or just in general, and how you can move through this to the final outcome. I'm going to be using tarot and oracle cards through this. I'm going to just pull a couple cards, so bear with me, and then I'm going to talk about the cards that kind of fell out as I was shuffling. Pull one more. Very jumpy cards this month, like I said. One more. There you go. Jumpy, jumpy. Bottom of the deck, power. I feel like everyone this month is really standing into their power and accepting change or going through a change and standing in their power because of this change. It's kind of putting you out there and creating some vulnerability and inner strength to come out. So I think that's kind of a common theme for everyone. This is the power card. So, and this also came down while I was shuffling, came out while I was shuffling. This is all about standing in your power and using your intuition and being very confident and comfortable where you are. So seems to be like the main theme, which is a really beautiful place to be in. I'm going to do some of these, and then I'm going to talk about the ones. I've got to use those. Current situation. Thank you. A lot of things coming up to the surface that were not seen before or seen in the right or seen in the lenses that you're in right now, like the way you're viewing things now. They're kind of showing up, resurfacing so you can understand them better with the knowledge that you have right now. It seems to be across the board for everybody. Emotions, please. Should have done a general reading because it's kind of the same for a lot of people, signs. Emotions. Sometimes these don't like to come out. And boom. The moon card again. So you have two moon cards. At the bottom, create, nurture your creative energy. I think this is all about really honing in on what you're really trying to manifest and the energy that you're putting in it, and just the energy that you're putting into everything that you're doing right now, making sure that you're staying balanced with your needs getting met and what you're putting out into the world, because there's a lot of things coming up right now and a lot of things being created, but really put the right energy into your projects right now or whatever you're trying to manifest. Making sure you're present with them is what this is inviting you to focus on. No, I'm sorry, got one more. No, I'm good. One more and then we'll get started. So current situation, as I shuffle for this, is surrendering or surrender, and the mystery, the secrets and hidden meanings, which is the moon card. I do think that maybe there's things being revealed to you or you're seeing things in a different light, and kind of surrendering to the things coming up, kind of like I just have to go with the flow or deal with what's coming up to get a better understanding, you know. I'm going to take those. They fell right out. You also got the safe card. I'll do this in a second. The safety card, goal setting, conflict, and that go in the same thing with the surrender and mystery. So right now, this is the 9 of Pentacles. And I do think that you're manifesting something. I think that you're on your way to abundance or creating abundance. You're working very hard to get there. 9s are all about perseverance and having clarity on a direction or, a path that you're on right now. and maybe you're trying to set boundaries to feel safe, or you are feeling safe in this because you're feeling confident in what you're doing right now. And you are goal setting. I think that the Student of Wheels is the Page of Pentacles. So I do think that there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of like new paths, new adventure. Some of you can be going to school and planning something out like that. I see long-term goals, you know, like I'm looking at the picture. And I do think like for some of you, this might be spiritual path, like going on a spiritual journey and setting goals for that, and like really tapping into yourself and going in deep, you know. That's kind of what I see. I think this is more like I don't know, not cathedrals or like not church, I'm not talking about religion, but definitely some spiritual component to this for me, from what I'm seeing. But I see a lot of goal setting, a lot of accomplishment, a lot of clarity, a lot of hard work going into this. And maybe the conflict you're having is coming from the moon, and I'll show you this in a second. I think it's more of like burning out. You know, maybe you're fatigued or tired, or just so many things are coming to the surface, so you just feel overwhelmed and kind of emotionally drained, maybe. I don't know. I'll look into this as we go. The mystery secrets of hidden meetings. Like, this is totally the moon. And the moon is all about like mysterious paths and the unknown, things coming up to the surface. Because it's in the current situation, I think that maybe things have been revealed to you, or you're realizing that there are some secrets or some things that you don't know yet. And you're kind of seeking out those meanings and those things that are not seen to you. So we'll clarify a little bit, and then we'll move on to the situation here of intellect and communication. Concentration, mystery, please. I definitely feel like the surrender card this is going to be some of you might be healers. But I think this is more of like whatever's being revealed to you, it's going to be a very healing time for you. And the problem, this is the Seasons card, is all about going with the flow and just trying to give up control of the situation, because you can't control the seasons. Just going with the change of things and accepting change as they are. And this is the theme for everyone right now, about change. The last 4 readings that I did for different signs, they all had change in the current situation, the same card. So I thought that was interesting. But this is all, I think that maybe you haven't gotten there yet, or maybe you're about to be seeing something that will cause a lot of change in your life. But I feel like surrendering to this situation, or these things coming up for you, this is inviting you to kind of go with the flow of things and not just sit back and just like surrender to what's coming up, to get a clearer picture of the whole thing first before you make a move, or you make an assumption, or you make a decision on something. This is definitely a healing time for you, though. It's going to be very healing, whatever it is. Maybe you're just seeing things in a different lens now, and it's not some big secret being revealed. Maybe you're just seeing things, you know, as the observer at like the whole picture of something, and not just your perspective on it. And that could be, you know, scary for people, because they're so used to just looking at it their way and not the whole way. It's a lot of work, and that's probably why I feel the conflict is there, because I think maybe time management, or I just feel like a burnout of like just feeling like, oh, I can't anymore right now. Like kind of like I've had enough kind of feeling for some of you. And or for some people, this could be, the conflict card is an interesting card. It's a spider with many eyes, and there's a candle above it. And usually for this deck, that when the candle's there, it could be like a possibility of burnout, fatigue. But I feel like the eyes are more of like the intuition, and maybe there's a conflict between what you are processing in your mind and using your intuition about something, and really having a struggle about which direction to go. You know, do you listen to your gut, or do you listen to facts? That's kind of what I'm getting from this. It's unraveling as I think about it. So that's a possibility too. Let's see the surrender card. I mean, it's Evan. I feel like you're surrendering to all of the stuff that's coming up, not controlling it. Kindred spirits. Yeah, maybe listening to your tribe, or like looking, maybe your tribe is going to be revealing something too that you need to see. And it could even just be revealing something that you need to see about yourself or about your actions or something like that too. Like I said, it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but it can feel dramatic because it's a shift and it's a change, and it's looking at yourself in the mirror. So, but I think surrendering to, or with the people that are around you, I just feel like this is like an inner circle that is very healing, and it could be, you could be a healer and having a healing circle that might support you in this. Because I see like they're all kind of holding hands and they're very close. And this is for the surrender card. So I do feel maybe that for some of you, you have that inner circle, that inner healing circle, or maybe you're seeking it out, or you will find something similar to that. I'm not sure. We can keep clarifying. I'm going to clarify the conflict card. I'm just curious. These are all very like mysterious cards. Like, I don't know. Community. So, okay. Kindred spirits are like your soul tribe, and soul sisters and soul brothers, but community card, these are very similar cards. One's just like a community that you might reach out to, and the other ones are your close tribes. So maybe there's a conflict within the community, or you're not feeling like there's a dynamic there that you want to have, and there's conflict there. For some, I don't know why that's coming up, but or maybe you're just needing to, like, maybe this whole thing is about like filtering out your community, your tribe. Like maybe there's some situations happening that are not in your best interest, or maybe you're outgrowing some people, and maybe like this invites you to kind of look at the people that you're around and make sure that you feel safe and that they're kind of on the journey with you and not holding you back, or like being like energy vampires in a sense. You're setting goals that are like lifelong goals and like higher goals, more spiritual goals, and maybe some of these people are not in it for the ride. So, that's kind of what I'm getting from this. I could be completely wrong, but I'm gonna pull one more actually for this. Vulnerability. Okay, or maybe you're looking for a tribe and you need community. For most of you, that could be just the one I just said before. Could be just for just a few of you, but. Maybe you're needing to be a little bit more vulnerable and put your heart on your sleeve a little bit more with the community, or reaching out to people that you need, because you're having some conflicts within your own self that you need support. So that could be the majority of you, but it can go either way. It could be, I don't feel like there's like this, I feel like there's a tight net between this community. That other message about conflict within the community and having to filter out, I think that's always good advice anyway, but I kind of don't feel like that for the majority, just because they're all like kumbayaing. Like, I know that's a weird phrase, but I just feel like they're all close and they're just holding space for each other. And maybe you're battling some depression, and you're feeling really deflated and burned out, and this is kind of what you're seeking, or this might help you out a little bit if you weren't thinking it this way. Maybe reaching out to a community that doesn't have to be an old community, it can be something new. I think that might be good for you for right now. Maybe it can help you along your journey a little bit clearer and easier transition. So yeah, this is getting clear now, but I think that you're in the process of like really shifting something here, and you just need some support. So highly recommend looking into see which angle this is resonating with, if anything at all. So, and the way you can move through intellect and communication. Oh, before we go into this, I'm sorry. I wanted to see the current situation, but then I like to go into the cards that fell out, and then I pick a couple of oracle cards too. So Temperance came up, and I love the White Witch Tarot for the Temperance. I just think it's a really cool card. there's like a bird kind of holding onto her face here, and then her heart is taking off on the other side. So it's a matter of like which side you are on. But this is like being cautious and being balanced. You know, like really seeing. You know what's coming up for me? This is like energy vampires. It's like they're trying to take a piece of you, and that's the cautious part here, the conflict. I do think that maybe you're exerting your energy too much. You're giving people too much of yourself, and you're not finding a balance in your life right now. Something like that. I'm going to clarify, but I do feel like you might just feel like people are like tearing at you and taking pieces of you, or one person, just gonna be one person, or it could be you're doing it to yourself. You're eating yourself up alive with your thoughts, with your mind. You know, this is not in any position. It's just a like an overall card for the reading. Overall energy. So we'll see. I'm actually gonna pull a card on that to have clarity a little bit. And then the change card came up, and it's not usually in this deck that I usually get it, but I do think you're going through a very big shift, but I think you're kind of having up everything in the air, and you're kind of trying to sort everything out. There's like lots of chaos around you, and or maybe it feels chaotic because change can be very chaotic. The tower moments, you know. But I think you're just trying to find balance in all of this. And that's maybe the cautious part of like just being cautious not to get wrapped up in the chaos in your own mind and externally. I think this is kind of all coming together. Sorry for like all over the place, but it's like being structured as I kind of go along. And finding balance and being cautious. I think you're trying to create abundance right now. That the abundance card came out, and I think like the Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, it is becoming like you're reaching your goal of abundance, and you're really working hard for something, or that's your end goal, and maybe that can be causing a lot of change, and you really needing to be careful not to be completely thrown off balance. And I love this change card. She's just trying to balance it all. And make sense of it, and just find a flow in the change is what I see. So I think that there's a lot going on, and I think this is a lot of deep-seated change. This is not just like, I mean, for some of you it could be just like I'm getting a new job or I'm moving, but I feel like for the majority, I think this is very deep, like very depth, you know, like I just feel like very focused and like, you know, really kind of like your head is underwater and you're trying to like focus on your breath and holding your breath while everything else is going on around you. That's kind of what I'm feeling from this. And I just feel like it's like maybe like surrendering. It's just loosening your grip a little bit, and trusting your timing, trusting your purpose, trusting your thoughts, trusting your intuition. It's kind of what I'm getting from that. Like just loosen your grip a little bit and just surrender to what's going on a little bit more, and allow maybe your community for support to keep you grounded or whatever you need. And because this is a very vulnerable time, and it is about feeling safe, you know. So yeah, I just feel like just try not to control the chaos, but don't get wrapped up in it. Just try to find balance and breathe and kind of go with the flow. That's what was coming up. So in the how you can move through intellect and communication, you have joy. Your inner child is here to play. I'll show you this card. It's just a beautiful little dolphin. So this is in communication and how you process things, you know. So I do think you're in this creation mode of really trying to manifest things, and maybe I think you have so much wisdom, and you do have the wisdom to move through whatever you're trying to create. And this could be looked at a couple different ways, this card. She's standing in a boat on a bunch of books, and she's kind of reaching out into the universe. And for me, this can mean like you've gained all the wisdom, you know all the wisdom, but you're still looking for answers, or you still need some extra help. You know, like you're doubting your knowledge about this, or you're doubting your intuition. Or this could just be like, I've done this, I know this, and now I'm reaching for the goal. Like I'm reaching for this energy that I've collected, that I've asked for. So I don't know who's what, but this is about communication too, and this is articulating it. Like you might be thinking and manifesting this internally, but this is inviting you to like kind of have a blueprint of what's going on in your life, and like literally writing it down on paper, journaling, like taking notes, a gratitude list, like, you know, a pros and cons list of things, whatever, however way you do, little bubbles with like little ways of like, you know, doing things in a little bit more like minute ways to keep the goal not so unattainable. But, you know, maybe some of you already have a blueprint created, and now you're just trying to like grab that energy that you've trying to manifest through, you know, but having a little bit of fun at the same time, and try. This is all about balance. This whole reading is about balance. But I do think that you're like, I think for most of you, you've already created this like view of what you want the future to look like, or a situation, or work related. It could be any of that. But I think you do have the inner wisdom, and I think just by trusting yourself a little bit more, might be half the battle of this conflict that you're having. This seems like a deeper situation, or more like a life-changing situation, but it's all about trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, knowing that you know the answer and you have the wisdom within. And if it's like you've already got a plan out, and I guess that is good to kind of write out a plan or have a plan in mind, but going with the flow of things and not having an expectation of the final outcome is important too. So, and going with the flow a little bit more, and being okay to like not have the outcome that you've expected to have. So I'm going to clarify a little bit, or add some more cards to this. So definitely planning again. So I definitely think that for some of you, I think you're very clear about what you want. You've already created the blueprints. You're very confident. You're just sitting there like, okay, I'm going to do this. You know, like I'm going to like learn what I need to learn, and I'm going to move through this. And 5 also, decluttering. The 5s are all about change. And maybe it's just decluttering your mind or your space, and just having some more clarity. And like I said, like if it's in the mind, like cluttering the mind, like writing things down very clearly of how you want to manifest them is very important. But the identity came out here, and this is the Ace of Pentacles. And aces are all about new beginnings, new paths, new concepts, new ideas. Maybe you're reconstructing, or you're finding new ways about yourself, or like you're really discovering yourself in a very new way right now. And or how you're expressing yourself is very different, because this is in communication. But I think this is a really beautiful thing, because I think you're on the right path, and I think you have the wisdom to do this. Just keep putting it out to the universe, keep articulating it, keep bringing that conversation up in your mind, releasing it from the body so it starts to manifest. But be careful about what you ask for, because it will come. If you're not clear about something, it will come the way it needs to come from the universe. So, and every time I choke on this position, so I'm going to keep drinking water while I'm in this position. It happens every time. So, but I think definitely like a new perspective on who you are as a person. Your identity is definitely being created here, and maybe that's the creation that you're bringing up, and the wisdom that you're looking for is this is all about your identity. Because your Metamorphosis came out with the identity, and it is about you're transforming into something now. There's a lot of change, and like I said from the beginning, like I feel like this is very deep seated. There's a lot of depth here, so I definitely feel it's like soul changing, like altering stuff, like how you perceive the world, how the world perceives you. Like, you know, when you look in the mirror, I feel like maybe now you're starting to look at yourself a little different, and a little deeper, and a little bit more like in the spiritual lens of things. And you are going through a major shift right now. you're definitely changing for the better. I think you're growing, you know? There's definitely a layer of the onion peeled off, and I think you're growing into something, the next step up, you know? So it's a really beautiful place to be in. Just make sure that you articulate it, make sure you communicate it to yourself, to others, journaling, to the universe, and just, you know, realizing you have the wisdom to shift through this. You just be very clear about what you're asking and what you want. So I'm just going to clarify the creation. Maybe something will come out that I need to know to have a clearer picture of like the wisdom. So you got rise, and I'll show you the picture in a second. I'm just going to pull one more. And hard work. And unfamiliar territories, which is totally about metamorphosis and identity and all of this stuff, because it's something that you're not familiar with, you know? You've never been in this. And the death card. So there's definitely been a transformation. Unfamiliar territories. There's two ways to look at this. So the fish jumps out of water and he's looking ahead, or she or they are looking ahead, and they're like saying either two things. They're looking ahead and saying, holy crap, what a journey I have to go on right now. That's like going to take me forever, because they're just looking at the outcome, you know, and the journey's the most like fundamental part into change, right? Because it's like the experience, the lessons are all in the journey, not the destination. But, or you can be looking at it, jumping out and saying like, I cannot wait for this adventure. Look at what I have to look forward to, you know. And it's all about perspective. It's all about your mindset. It's all about like finding balance with this and having a little bit more fun. The joy card, having a little bit more fun in the process, because, you know, the journey can be a lot of fun and you don't want to miss it. So, and then the death was on the bottom of the deck, but this is all about like transformation, transitioning right now into something new. So totally not surprised that the death card came up. And then the cards for wisdom, creation, that kind of stuff. Rise is like coming out of the muck, like, you know, coming out of the, like this darker part right now. Maybe it's the last year because of COVID-19, or it could just be, you know, whatever situation, depression, you know, I mean, there's so many things that could create like this darkness in our lives. It could be a situation, relationship, could be so many things, could just be in the mind. But you're finally coming up for a breath of fresh air, and you're just like rising up and just standing above it and realizing that, you know, you can breathe and you see light at the end of the tunnel. And the worker is, again, a community card, but it's also, you know, this is hard work. This is not easy work. And just knowing that, you know, you are a hard worker, you're on this mission, but knowing you don't have to do it alone, because bees work together as a colony in the hive to like get the job done. You don't have to do this alone. So just being aware, like, yes, it's hard work, individual hard work, but look for your tribe, look for your community, look for your soulmates, your soul peeps, and get some help from them. You don't have to do this alone, you know? So hopefully that's a little clear and it resonates a little bit in the emotions that you can connect with through this, or that might come up because of this. You have self-love, which is totally makes sense because you're going through a major transformation and transition right now. So this is all about self-love. And then you have guidance. You are divinely guided. And at the bottom of the deck here was spiritual guidance, which I saw before. So I definitely think you're guided. You're not doing this alone. And manifestation. This is crazy. So, and the moon card. So these are the 3 moons that came out. Mystery, this is the moon card. But this is about staying grounded no matter what is coming up in your way. No matter where you are in the world, no matter what you're doing. It's about staying grounded and rooted no matter where the boat is taking this. It's a tree in the boat with roots. So, and you also have skills and intellect. So this is all about emotions, bringing up emotions. And I mean, I think that maybe the digging deep and this depth that I was talking about is really about loving yourself unconditionally and finding tools, skills, and ways to do so, however that looks for you. And I feel like in one aspect you are safe. This could be financially, but this also could be just like how you carry yourself in the world. But I think you are you very vulnerable too. I mean, a lot of us are, even though we put on the shell. But I think right now it's like really focusing on any emotions coming up, really digging deep to, number one, to release some things that no longer serve you anymore, old stuff. And maybe that's about like looking at things the way you perceived them when they initially came, whether it's a child or as an adult, and realizing that people were just lashing out, or people just were having their own experience and it wasn't personal, or looking at the whole picture, like I was saying before, is a good way to look at the scars and do some healing here. Because like I'm highly sensitive. Like I get affected by every single thing. I take it to heart so deep. So I can honor that kind of feeling. But just doing some self-love, like really doing any nurturing, it could just start with like sitting in silence for 10 minutes and just kind of connecting with yourself, having a cup of tea, getting a massage, like whatever you need to kind of spend some me time and have some reflection time is key. And know that you're not alone and you're protected here. And skills, I think that you are really honing in on, like, I feel like there's a lot of positivity and a lot of experience going to be gained from this, and a lot of good luck. There's a rabbit in here, but I just think I don't know, I just feel like this is going to be a really good transition for you, a really good shift. And you're learning some really important life skills that are going to be long-term, that are going to carry you through the rest of your life right now. And this is skills about coping. This is skills about like healthy coping. There's skills about like learning who you are, taking a Reiki class, or like doing some things, learning some new ways to heal yourself, And intellect is all about like cutting off the mind and working with your intuition more, getting out of your head and really focusing on what the body needs and what the body's asking you it needs, like really closing your eyes and like listening to what the body needs. And this is very important when it comes to the emotions, because emotions are trying to tell you like, hello, you buried me, and like we have a thought or a memory that stirs up from a song coming on, or like you hit a bruise and you're like, oh, or like a scar and you're like, oh, you remember that time, and you reminisce over that, where you got that scar. Like these are all signs that something needs to like come up and out. And sometimes we just have a thought and then we bury it and we forget about it. But maybe this is inviting you to like not do that and actually sit with them and say like, why did I have that experience? What is it that I'm needing to learn? So I just think that's a really important thing. So intellect, please. Transitioning. Major transformation here. Every single card is transformation, metamorphosis, change, vulnerability again. But this is in the emotions now. I think because of the transformation and all of this change and all of this shifting that you're shedding right now and going through, you're feeling very raw and very vulnerable. And this is teaching you the skills you're going to be able to cope with in the long term. Look, you're learning through this process, and just remember that it's all lessons learned. Like, you're not alone, and I think this is very deep stuff. And I'm sorry that some of you are going through this, but I think it's really awesome too, because there's such growth here, and it's needed to transform into what, the next step into something that you really want. So I think it's a really beautiful place to be, but it's a shitty place to be when you're in it. I mean, I've definitely been in this situation a few times over, especially with emotions. It's tough. It's easier for communication because you kind of just eventually like blow up like a volcano in the communication position. But emotions are very raw, and we are not taught how to process them and how to deal with it. So you're basically on your own to learn skills to understand them and to deal with them. So. And I think that's what this is saying. So, and next we have how you move through the outcome, or towards the outcome, and some things that like guiding you there, and having faith. And this doesn't mean religion. If you're not religious, this just means like having faith in yourself, like connecting to your spirit, connecting to everything that is, connecting to the planet. Really grounding yourself. Really, it's also inviting you to embody whatever you're going through. Like really embody it, like bring it in, like understand it, learn it, and then release it. So having faith is also sitting with it and connecting with it and understanding it, you know? So, excuse me. And then the moon card. So not only are you revealing stuff in the current situation, and the moon came out on the bottom of the deck too, in the communication position, but I think that as you move out, I think surrendering and having faith in all of this, and it's going to be okay, is like the key thing to take from this. So you know when things are revealed, you know, unconscious mind, feminine energy, and like intuition. And I think this is about really tapping into your, not only about things coming up and being seen, but just really connecting to your intuition, you know, really understanding it, really knowing yourself. You know, I think in April, this is going to be like a shift of like really getting to know yourself. I mean, it's all about identity, but like really being discerning about things and questioning things and saying like, do I like this? Do I want this? Like, you know, who am I? You know, do I love myself? What do I not love about myself? How can I shift that so I do love myself more? Like asking those kind of questions, I think are really important here, and like really listening to what your intuition tells you the answers are. I think it's key. So I'm going to pull a couple of these for this, and or one, whatever comes out. Support network. So you literally have kindreds, community, support network, which is also a 9, which is also about progress and finding clarity on a direction. Like I think now you're finding things that are coming up, and you're dealing with your intuition, and you're looking for a new support system. You're looking for a new community that resonates with you, you know, that vibes with your new identity or this new path for your identity. Things that you're like, you know, you're metamorphosing, like you're transforming into something, and now you want to be with like-minded people, you know. But there's like so many like even the worker is all about community and working with a tribe. You have so many cards that are telling you like this is important in your life, and finding ways to get those needs met, I think is important. So I'm going to do one more on the moon. Mystery again. The boat with the tree in it that's rooted. You have so many things being revealed and so much unknown stuff. Like so many unknown things. But I think it is for the greater good. The goodness card was on the bottom of the deck. You literally have mystery, moon. There was like a bunch of other ones. It could have been at the bottom of the decks. A lot of unseen, unknown, mysterious paths. Maybe it's also just being okay with, you know, going, like really changing and shifting and just being okay with the unknown, you know, with the mystery of it all, and surrendering to it, you know, and having faith that things are going to work out for your benefit, not to be scared of the unknown, being comfortable in it. And I think that working on self-love is going to make you transition to this so much easier, because you're going to know yourself so well if you do the work, that you're going to go into this saying like, it's okay. I'm okay with myself. I can deal with anything that comes, especially dealing with all of this stuff. You're going to be super strong by the time you get to the outcome of this. And you're going to have so much more stability, and you're going to be so much more confident that you can handle anything that comes your way. And that's kind of what I'm feeling with this. It's a really beautiful reading. A lot of stuff, a lot of heaviness, a little bit with scary, like unknown stuff. But you're really, there's so much change. It's ridiculous how much change is happening to you right now, Aquarius. But I mean, this is your time right now. The age is definitely in Aquarius right now. So I wouldn't expect anything less, honestly, just because it's like vibing with who you are as a person too. So I'm going to pull some self-care cards that I do every month, and then I'll send you on your way. So movement, walking, yoga, working out, just keep that. I think being in nature, I think dancing around your living room, just like keep the energy balanced a little bit. Build strength, working out. Yeah, I think movement's really important for you right now just because of all the transformation stuff. This will keep you grounded and it keeps the fear down because you're getting rid of some of that excessive energy. Sing and be still. So within all of the movement and working out, still the mind and be grounded. Maybe do some guided meditations, Reiki, like, you know, alternative healing modalities to kind of like settle the mind a little bit. Oh, there's one more. Dream journal. Interesting too. So pay attention to your dreams in this next month, in the month of April, because you're changing so much and there's so much transformation here. They might be telling you some stuff that would help you along this process. So really pay attention to your dreams, for sure. If you want lucid dreaming and very vivid dreams, put some mugwort. I mean, I don't want to putting mugwort under your pillow, but that could be like very lucid dreaming. So maybe I shouldn't give that advice, but yeah, I think that in journaling in general, not just dream journaling, but journaling in general, I think is really important to you. So Aquarius, I hope this resonated. I'm sorry for the like slow figuring out things, but I finally got a little bit, you know, it unraveled as it went. But if this resonated with you, or if you feel like you like the way that I read, if you wouldn't mind please supporting and subscribing to the channel, hitting like, it really keeps things going, and it just makes me realize that people are interested, and I just love doing this. It's a lot of fun and I want to keep it going. So I hope you have a really great month of April. Take care of yourself, love yourself, doing some of this work, and hopefully you have a really transformative month, and I will see you in the month of May. Take care of yourself.